That's what happens when you let me stand that close to the end of the world box.
You've had... You had 2 more seconds. You couldn't wait.
So, welcome to the BoomerRex Semi-Likely
Action
News.
bias. Rawr.
Anyway, good evening. Welcome back to BoomerRexTonight, your nearly daily source for news and politics.
No, most of the time when he's the problem, I'm like, just headbutt him, Risen. Just like, I didn't see it. It's not elder abuse if we don't call it that.
First,
like,
let me introduce Mr. BoomerRex himself.
Yeah, good evening.
Asshole.
I come from a tribe where literally I was taught to burn small children with cigarettes when they were rampaging around social events.
And I am...
And then apologize all
Lady
over.
Oh,
Heathen.
no, because you make it look like they burned you too, and you're like, oh, are you all right, Timmy? And you, yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone is like, oh, I'm sorry, my garbage pail kid ran into your cigarette. Are you okay?
Yeah. And pretty rapidly, the kids learned not to run around.
So let's dig right in.
Not drop bows on
What's
them.
going on with Marjorie Taylor Greene being mad as a hatter?
Oh, shit, wait.
Well, no, that's been forever.
Like internet, I usually spend my time like giggling. I've read the stories they're talking about. I didn't hear this.
So Bannon says to her, they're singling you out, right? You're responsible for the death of conservatism.
Oh, God.
And it's completely bullshit.
No.
But,
She's
here we
just
go.
the end of a long
No.
train of conservative going down proverbial poop.
You know, and I reached the point where she says something that I absolutely agree with.
Gross.
I know, I said,
Yeah, you're gonna have to
You wanna
shower
see me-
after this.
you
So
understand?
obviously you want today to be over.
You're going to wash
most
my mouth
Ricky
out
Tick.
with soap, aren't you?
My God,
Yeah,
you hope
okay.
it's soap. Bath salts.
Dude, we
You're gonna
have
wake up eating faces.
100 proof rum. That'll clean
And
your
for-
mouth out
oh.
real quick.
Yeah.
Don't
thanks.
fuck with
Push that shit around.
internet. Don't touch the booze over 40%.
You'll be sad about it.
Don't fuck with anything better than 80 proof.
Why?
Because it'll fuck you up. Like, you want
Oh no!
that
Shut up!
shit
Shut
in.
up!
Okay.
No! Shut up! We're gonna have fun with this.
No, we're not.
We'll make a tincture of
Anyway,
psilocybin mushrooms and 151 and
That's something terrible.
Boomer Rex did something.
Anyway,
unnatural.
back to Marjorie
so she
Taylor Greene.
she comes back
Yeah.
and she says, Republicans have caused alcoholism, drug abuse,
Nah, that's-
depression, failed marriages, and caused traditional families to fall apart.
That's literally stage 4 capitalism. Mm-hmm. That's stage 4 unrestricted
That
capitalism.
The Democratic
Yes.
Party and the Republican Party
yeah.
cheerfully cooperated in. Marjorie Taylor Greene, we have a common agenda, which is to fix those problems.
Absolutely.
And your party isn't the answer. So anytime you're ready, give me a call, and we will figure out how to put together a
Set everyone
coalition
on
of
fire.
working folks.
Yeah.
And to elect people who will actually govern this
That
country
40 hours
in a way
ought to
that
be
benefits
enough.
all Americans. No shit.
Because that's about
Minimum
enough.
wage.
One person working 40 hours should be more than enough because that's what the 40-hour work week
Yes,
was
fire
originally
for
made
effect.
And
You
that was
need
the-
an
that was-
adult at home if you have not
Right.
adults at home.
That's the foundation of the traditional family. And the reason it's falling apart is because we let the purchased Republicans and Democrats,
Yep.
the ones who had been
Corporations,
purchased
The
by
sons
the
of bitches.
corporations and their rich owners, dictate the terms. And that has to stop or America will end.
Here's the most tragic part. Watch this. I'm about to break his soul.
Oh, no.
And he's got advanced
Do it
training
nicely.
on.
Do it nicely.
And you're going to
this
say,
thing.
well, my generation sat there and
No.
watched.
I'm going to say Ulysses S. Grant was worried that America would come down to a fight between patriotism and intelligence. And what is it when you believe in like 13's a bad number?
Superstition.
Yes, superstition, nitwittery, and know-nothingism. And that's not actually the quote, but that's what he meant.
No.
And the Patriots broke the wrong way. Like, again, it's when someone shows up to me and they're like, I identify as a Christian and a... There's a lot of things I wish you would have identified before that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel
Just
like there's
because-
other things that should be more important about you than just your religion, right?
No, but if you were legitimately a
Yeah. That's... I'm a
you'd be
good
on
human.
the team with the folks shouting for a living wage,
Oh, Jesus,
for
yeah.
affordable health care.
And we've heard
for-
reports that Trumpies support. And again, like, we have a whole thing. It's coming up. We have to do a deep dive on why they're not gullibillies, but I have to
and
be
I'll
able...
stop using that word.
I have to be able to say gullibillies because the other answer is early checkout. Like, I cannot... Kipling's...
No,
I cannot stand to watch my words used to build a cage for fools.
Yeah.
Like, that's...
Anyway, there's common ground there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
No, that's
we need
what
to
makes...
recognize that the Republican Party is absolutely antithetical
Yeah.
to any progress.
No, but I would respect...
And the Democrats damn near are.
I would
Well, 'cause they
respect
won't
Jeff
do
Bezos or fucking scumbag, no, Musk, if he said, I just want more money. If he, like...
was honest.
If he was Tony Montana levels of coked up on cash,
Right.
I could be like, yeah, don't.
I understand the
Obviously, don't
personality
give him any.
flaw. Right.
Yes, I. Who
No,
am I to
it's
throw
when,
stones? But
it's when they brag about, well, I gave $70 million to so-and-so, and the answer is, what's in your other pocket?
yeah, no, there's been a side
Right, this
that's
is
been in,
literally pocket change. for them.
there's been a side that's been in barrel rolls since their bosses stopped buying police departments.
Okay, so in tandem to this discussion, can I talk about a
Fire.
funny story about a CEO that I have?
Thank you.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Oh, shit. Fuck this. He called them fucking thieves, and they should go to his goddamn house.
Listen, no. I
Don't
think you're
go
thinking
to
of
anyone's
something-
house, the internet.
I think you're thinking of something else. But anyway, so CEO takes time off after firing 900 employees.
On Zoom.
Hold on, don't ruin my story. Okay, so the CEO of a digital mortgage company called Better.com decided to suddenly and awkwardly fire 900 employees over Zoom on December 1st. CEO Vishal Garg is now
He's well named.
and I quote, taking time off effective immediately, according to an internal memo, which also discusses, and I quote, very regrettable events over the last week, unquote.
Yep.
In about a 3-minute Zoom call, approximately 900 employees were told by Greg, I come to you with not great news.
Yep.
We are laying off about 15% of the company for a number of reasons. The market efficiency
That's
and
ridiculous.
performances and productivity. If you and this is all quotes.
Yeah.
If you're on this call, you are part of the unlucky group that is being laid off. Your employment here is terminated effective
I
immediately.
got into my Prius and drove to his motherfucking house. Like,
He continued
don't throw acid on the people, the internet.
telling them the decision was, and I quote, challenging, and starting the quotes again, this is the second time in my career I'm doing this,
That.
and I do not want to do this. The last time I did it, I cried. This time I hope to be stronger.
Hold up, pause. No, I have to stop because I will literally shoot teeth out of my fucking head.
Oh, God.
Oh,
There are no bad troops, there are only bad leaders.
you got it.
Agreed.
This is the second time his failure has resulted
Destroyed his regiment.
in... Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, God, let's hope they got decimated, because the kids that can't do the math think that's real bad, and the kids that have ever thought about that math,
Know that's
God, I wish it was that. Wouldn't that be nice?
So,
they were asleep. But, yes, carry on.
He then explained they would be getting about 1 month's pay and 3 months of benefit, which would be clarified in an email from HR to their personal account.
And
One employee
Yes.
said shortly after the meeting, his work issue computer went dark. And he didn't get the email for hours, leaving him just hanging in the wind like, what is going on?
I'm super sad about Stephen McSword guy. I want to talk about the lady whose kid is due in March.
Hold on. Let me
Thank
finish
you.
this because
Yep.
I didn't hear about that.
Nope. Carry on.
Garg wrote a letter to his employees on Tuesday owning his decision to fire their coworkers
Owning.
and saying he should have handled it better. Days before the layoffs, Better.com received $750 million in a cash infusion from its backers.
Yeah.
Garg has been known to say crazy things in the past, including sending an email last year saying, and I quote, "You are, all caps, too damn slow." Back to regular, "You are a bunch of, all caps, dumb dolphins." Back to regular, and ... all caps, dumb dolphins, back to regular, "get caught in nets and eaten by sharks." All caps, "so stop it right now. You are embarrassing me." End quote.
So,
this guy sounds like a real winner.
Leader. Yep.
Don't use Better.com.
Damn, that sounds like a phrase you'd hear some CEO saying at Burning Man while talking to some desert drug dealer.
Oh, Lord.
But yeah, so after this whole fiasco, he is taking a sudden unexplained leave of absence.
I thought I was like talking
And no one knows for how long. No one knows for how long he's going to be gone.
He called them fucking thieves. He called them... No, it's the worst of the 80s again. Like, we always giggle about... No, history doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme. Like,
I thought this played right into to the previous discussion.
No,
it kind of explains exactly what's going on in our, companies, right under our noses. Like, this is happening everywhere.
And one of the Fox News chippies was talking about how super cool and big dick energy he was when he fired these people because they're thieves, because they're not optimizing their thing for the shareholders and the... Cool, but
speaking of Fox News, did you hear what happened to Fox News?
Which part?
Fox's 50-foot, and I quote, "all-American Christmas tree," unquote, burned down. A homeless man that officers are saying could be mentally ill set the Fox News tree on fire, which of course set off all the Fox Newsies on a crusade
on the fishbowl
about the new war on Christmas.
Yeah.
Dear gods, why? Just what the fuck? Seriously? Maybe this guy was cold. Like, you don't know. Like, shit.
Well, best of all,
he knew there was less than $1,000 worth of damage, and he was going to get 9 hots and a cot.
he was back on the street in hours with no bail.
Cool.
It's a misdemeanor.
Honest to God, you know what?
Burning down a Fox News Christmas tree is a misdemeanor. That's brilliant. I'm gonna do that. I'm just kidding. Look, don't burn down Christmas.
It's one of the things the sovereign kids take in exactly the wrong way, so I always feel bad bringing it up. The U.S. federal government doesn't give a shit what you do to each other or whatever.
Right.
Unless you use your social, or it's more than $100,000 across state lines. Yeah. They might care because they're looking for big fish. So, no, I feel indifferent on the fact that this guy was out after having set fire in front of... Who gives it? Like, dude would have burned down a Starbucks if it got him dinner. And
again, the understanding is that he probably has mental health issues. If only we had a mental health system that worked, this might not have happened.
The scary thing to think about is that in every war we've seen of everyone currently alive, mental illness goes down. Our mental illness is humans are adapted for a lifestyle with wildly more violence than we can tolerate. And our mental ill kids... That's what happens when they skip X many turns.
Okay.
Because Britain thought they were going to lose a significant portion of their humans, and they were laying off psychologists because they had reduced by half the caseload. Because suddenly life actually had genuine conflict.
Yeah.
Because the hourly wage scale and the things and maximizing the capitalism in your interactions with your bosses is not how most of us view the world. That's why NFTs are garbage, cryptocurrency is garbage.
Yeah. So we were talking about Better.com, where we had a demonstration of, and I'm going to put quotes on leadership.
Yeah.
Right.
Bad leadership.
The worst conceivable kind of leadership, right? Just god awful.
Oh, yeah.
However, it turns out that here in the Great Resignation, right, which doesn't actually exist, what we're seeing is that there are a herd of people who are moving up to a better job, leaving a hole the company now has to fill. Aw, shucks. But it turns out, in order to try to fill those openings, right, companies are offering signing bonuses, lowering their qualifications.
Didn't work well for the Army and GWAT.
They're tapping Boomerang employees.
Yep.
But most important, they're beginning to take a harder look at their enthusiastic stayers.
What's the corporate answer to Foucault's Boomerang?
So is this the what the fuck is a stay interview?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh shit.
Why would you, it's fine to do an exit interview and say,
Yeah.
what
That's
could
how
we
you
have done to
spot
keep you?
workplace
What
shooters.
was, what were the deciding factors? What had we apparently not offered, right?
Okay.
That's fine. But an exit interview is with your good employees.
Yeah.
Right? To say, what motivates you to stay here? Right? Why are you staying? What can we do? What are you looking for? And are we meeting
make
those
it good
needs?
for everybody. Don't.
No, but again.
No, but data collection is a threat at this point. That they're taking the points for doing a math problem that's across the whole company, looking for dude named Chad with a middle name or that starts between these four things. No, exit interviews are beneficial for security purposes.
Peace.
Stay interviews concern the living shit out of me.
No, I love
just
stay interviews.
tolerably levels of violence at the workplace.
This ought to be rolled in with a performance review. And,
But that's what I don't have any faith in. You come from a different mountaintop of they care if you're bad. They don't care if the dude that said no one worked overtime those 2 days that everyone worked all the overtime.
Can I just say that one of my ex-bosses, this was a McDonald's boss. Now this isn't all McDonald's, but this one dude, his way of dealing with somebody giving him their resignation or their notice, their 2-week notice, was to rip it up in front of him, throw it away, and say, "You're not quitting. Get
back to work."
Get back to work. I do not accept this. And he kept people that way.
Yeah.
It was
Ridiculous. Anyway, no. The point is that if a company is paying attention to what its workers want, understands what their needs are and is doing its damnedest to meet those needs, they're not going to have a problem with resignations.
The 30% of good capitalism. And then pushes the tumor ever forward. You made me
really sad because that's probably true.
Risen, say something nice so I can pee on that. Sorry, man, because that's the idea of stay interviews is exactly what I want. And again, I have sat in a handful of times on hiring interviews, and I'm the problem child that goes, "What do? Zombies walk through the front door." I just want to see what you do when I ask you bullshit, because sooner or later, the places I work, somebody's going to be all, fucked up and being like, "No, I know the guy that owes the guy. And I don't know what's in his pockets, but he can't come in."
I interviewed with a company, it was a good company, that first of all, they were small enough that when they interviewed somebody that they thought had a real chance of being hired, the entire company came to the conference room.
Yes!
So I interviewed literally on the day before Halloween. Halloween was on Saturday.
I do believe I've actually been in this building's headquarters.
Yeah, you have. And
I liked them. They were nice.
They were nice. So anyway, I show up.
They paid a lot. I don't care, really.
And there's a ferry with actual wings the division leader, right, was wearing a red leotard and horns and carrying a trident. So I walk in the door and I look around, and so I look around.
No, I thought we were cool. See the like water slugs, like a big old surgical tube full of water, like, oh, water gun.
And so the admin, who would become a good friend,
tell me more.
Looks
about
at me and she goes, "You just figured out you're not dressed properly for this interview."
Nah, in fact.
And I said, "Yeah, I kind of did." So I mean, everybody was in a costume.
Oh no!
Nope.
So
Why was there
anyway,
a reason
Yeah,
for
it's
it,
company
or-
reasons. It's fine.
So anyway, we go in, and I had been asked to give a short talk on what I had been doing, and I gave a short talk. And then I sat down, and the first question was, "What's your favorite movie?"
So, what is your favorite movie? What did you tell them? Yeah,
My Cousin Vinny.
fair. I look.
One of the
Enjoy
best
this.
movies I'd ever seen.
As long as he didn't say, "No, Brain, God damn it, you just take me out these streets and then just abandon me."
Yeah. Well, while you hunt around to see where you dropped your...
I heart Huckabees. If you said I heart Huckabees, I'd burn you with my goddamn
I
cigarette.
don't even know what that is.
Don't. It's an existentialist comedy.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, yeah, right? That's the face I made. I literally stabbed the guy.
Like
So-
Blue Velvet?
It's worse than that.
Is it?
It's
God.
so much dumber. Everyone you like is in it, but they're all so dumb.
No, that's
Mr.
sad.
Rex, why don't you tell me why the Russian media misses Trump?
Oh, yeah.
I have to tell you.
Because
Tell
he
the
promoted
people.
sycophants because we decided Russia was no longer a geopolitical enemy.
Right. And you know why we did that? Is because Trump loves strong men. And that's what Putin is.
America, I am 40 years old. They won't ever be our friends because they occupy the exact same ecological niche. They are the
They
enforcement arm for the
certainly won't
bosses.
be while Putin is around.
We are the reason the international court has an overnight drop box.
Yeah.
We are the enforcement arm of international law, and Russia and China want to be that so much they're willing to devalue their currency to the amount necessary because they're also willing to do what it takes to win.
Okay, so anyway, they want to go back to when Trump would stand up and regurgitate the standard Russian propaganda talking points.
Where
and
was he with the soccer
cast
ball?
doubt on his own.
Helsinki.
Yeah.
No.
Bringing it to his master.
Yeah.
No,
That's the most subservient move I've ever seen a
the
president make.
fact that nobody was ever concerned about how obsessed Trump is
I know.
with these fascist dictators.
Oh,
The
do
fact
aren't
that nobody,
they?
like,
Or yeah.
None of the Republicans put two and two together and said, "Oh shit, maybe he wants to rule us like a king rather than, be the president for 8 years and then go away."
COVID
Things were so good
did
under Trump.
something to us.
Listen to Trumpushka, he
I
said.
that's
God.
interesting because that's a feminization of his name, and that's not what Russians would have said. Like, because later they talk
Or
about
it was intended as an insult from somebody
that's
who understood.
why later
how
in the
effeminate
episode,
Trump
when they were
was
discussing
when Putin
Trump
was
in a
around.
positive light, they called him Donald. What's his dad's name?
Fedorovich. Or
Yes,
whatever.
Fedorovich. That matters.
Yeah. No, he got insulted.
Russia is what self-abortion of capitalism looks like. The intel kids take over and snuggle up into organized crime. And they know how to make a plane show up when you want that because they know what pilots are like.
So anyway, to touch again on a subject we had talked to before, the Michigan school shooting probe, right, where the state offered to investigate, the school said no, thank you. They've had $200 million lawsuits filed against the Oxford schools.
I heard about $100 million yesterday.
It's $100 million each.
I got my booster, so
For two
I'm all
siblings.
like derpy. But No, there's another one.
It's two siblings, 100 million each.
When I lived in Albuquerque, they paid $150 million to repave the bike paths. Yeah, that's about the amount of money I want to slap a city with. Especially, where is this in Michigan? Yeah, I don't know how people live there. It's not the same number as Boston. So, yeah. No, smack them right in the goddamn mouth. Because they really did. They fucked this up from the jump. That at some point, some adult felt uncomfortable enough to pull the bell.
And nothing happened.
And no one was like, hey, Timmy, you're just going to be my special friend today. You can't go
We're
anywhere.
Spend some time together.
Yep. You're going to hang out right there and sit in that chair. It can be cool or it can be lame. You pick one. Yeah. Like, I'm just going to physically control you because you're a tiny human.
Yeah, let's go get a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Whatever's necessary, but I know you're not going to be dangerous because I'm an adult. And I'll just tangle you up and take you to the ground. Yeah. And that's not what happened. Yeah. And that cost some people.
If only we had a mental health system that reacted to threats.
You know what? Maybe we should do a deep dive on.
Is that the 60s and 70s? Did Nixon do that?
The mental health
what
system.
What tax cut cost
No,
that?
because remember, they used to throw crazy people into these bad situations. We talked about them during the Halloween horrors.
That's right. The whole ass dream team. Like, forget scary movies. So, like, delightful American movies.
Let's
go back and look at deinstitutionalization.
Right. Let's
when was that?
And
we weren't alive
discussion.
Then.
And I'll do some research.
It saves a lot of money.
Sometimes,
and that's money that you can give to your rich patrons.
It's the 70s.
Which is what they did.
Like, the 80s was the downshift. The 80s was the assault forward out of position. The 70s was retrenching and setting up QRF, which, I don't know. I watched somebody try to explain how that's a much more militarized term than Ready Reserve. But, okay, cool. But I've also read Clausewitz, like Centers of Gravity, and we're afraid of words now, right? Again, the reason why when we talk about gun nonsense, we talk about semi-automatic military-grade hardware. Okay. If I had a choice and an unlimited, and they saved no expense, I assure you, what I'm choosing didn't come out of any army's fucking armory.
Right.
Okay, so let's call it a deep dive on mental health in America.
Yeah,
starting from
deinstitutionalization. Is that really the phrase to look up?
Moving forward.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I wasn't alive then.
They closed them all and threw all the people on the street. That's where, at that time, the vast majority
we were
of
going
the
to save a bunch of money. No, I could raise an army of fucking sewer people in New York. I've never been that bored.
Part of that happened because the horror stories you told at Halloween were true in many cases. Right? So you had people who were running these mental health facilities that were nothing short of monsters.
They went from orphanages to mental health institutions.
Yeah.
Because no one gave a damn about the lost and the damned. Because
exactly.
We didn't have time. Like, again, we're the Australians that didn't get caught.
No, and
we tried to do it cheap, and it didn't work.
And we ran fast, and we didn't need you to do a lot of background checky shit.
Yeah.
Like.
No, and I actually have a lot of experience with today's childhood mental health institutions because I worked at one. I was a chef.
Yeah.
So I got to speak to these kids and the staff, and so I know a great deal of how it's handled now.
Okay.
But it's not easy to get your children into this because they don't actually get put into our system unless they are like super downsy, like autistic to a point where they are completely not functional and are aggressive, right? So you got aggressive clients, and the other kids that are there for being arrested. And then you find out that they were molested for years and are just generally fucked up, and also have these other conditions that led to these issues that they had, or possibly were caused by these issues.
What happens when we said corporations could do it cheaper, faster, better, because they would care, because at the end someone would judge their product, and they're human beings. No one's going to judge them.
But again, these are not run by
government.
Then we
didn't do that.
But
these are nonprofit organizations, and they do not have the staff or the skills or the ability
I've never
to handle these
known
children.
someone that ran a nonprofit that didn't drive a nice car.
Right.
All right. So what else have we got? Oh,
Omicron update.
Yeah.
Because you
What's
got
going
some
on there?
stuff to talk about Omicron, and I got some shit about COVID.
All right.
Okay. So this is a tiny study, but 43 known Omicron infected that we can track.
Right.
Of those, only one has been hospitalized, and only for 2 days. 79% of those who got it were vaccinated, which is more than
average.
Yeah, except 33% of them had foreign travel, which meant they were automatically fully vaccinated. Right? You had to be.
Yeah.
So you've got an odd sample.
That's why inflation is irrelevant to the average American, but
yeah. Anyway,
so it's a weird sample.
It's a weird sample, but it is clear that vaccinated people can get Omicron.
But with only one person being vaccinated or being hospitalized so far.
Yeah, but then there's only 43 known cases. So,
yeah.
We're talking about a disease that typically kills about 1% of the infected. These will also, since they were doing foreign travel and so forth, they're probably younger than...
No, and I want to talk more about the fact that we found out that COVID's really interested in your fat cells and 12 other things that would make America exceptionally exposed due to diet.
No, I think that turns out to be a big thing.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that. The other thing was that the vaccines lose their effectiveness against Omicron in 4 or 5 months.
So
the
booster, quite as long as
the booster takes it right back to 75%.
Yeah.
So get your boosters, everybody. Actually, Asshole and I, as you've been seeing on my RisenLadyHeathen Facebook, just got our vaccination, or our boosters for our vaccination.
We really do need to make a Boomer Rex Facebook.
We will. I was going to, but a lot has been going on. Our dog that's been pregnant.
Just weeping puppies, like some Cloverfield shit up in here. Like, just corpses.
So at this point, it's about a 48-hour miscarriage.
She's unfortunately gone into premature labor, and she's lost
dispensing puppies.
A lot of puppies.
Yeah.
So
wait, I'm going to try and protect your balls, bro.
Dispensing dead puppies.
So sadly, we've lost a bunch of the puppies, but we're hoping she's still got... Two to three in her, so we'll see, and maybe these will stay and be able to
gestate. Subscribe for more bummers about Doberman bombers.
But this is the explanation that I promised to give on my RisenLadyHeathen account about what's been going on and why I haven't been on as much as I really wanted to be. But we've had a lot going on.
Chicken and trying to find things the dog will eat.
Yeah, and we've had a lot going on in the family, and it's just been really hard on us. So we appreciate
protein intake, decrease
your understanding in this, in this difficult time for us.
Carbohydrate.
It's not uterine inertia. It's anyway.
But anyway, we got our shots, and the first day we were both feeling yucky. It was no good. Our arms hurt real bad for the first.
Do they still hurt?
For the first 24 hours, it was
like I'm skull foggy, but
yeah,
like. I just want today to be over.
My brain is still foggy in the head. I don't feel like as sick as I did. Like, I think I'll wake up tomorrow and I think I'll be fine.
No, that was my response to the booster, was about 24 hours of just leave me alone.
Well, Assel and I are on about 48 right now, so.
I don't know. I've actually seen Boomer Rex's officer's instruction to, like, infantry in the field manual. That says, if you, like, something this, I'll break your arm. It's somewhere in the third outbuilding.
Yeah. So, you got other stuff, or do we want to go to our closeout happy thought, or?
No, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about.
Okay, well, let's rock and roll.
Hold on, I gotta make a note here.
All right.
Because I'm fucking it all up.
Yeah, we all are.
I'm full of space rabies.
So, I have some information on New Jersey right now. They are super fucked up with COVID. And the governor is saying everything is on the table to try to slow down the winter holiday spread.
Who the hell's the governor of New Jersey now?
The whole Northeast, including including Massachusetts, Connecticut, and of course New Jersey. are seeing cold weather surges.
Yes.
And New Jersey is having increases in breakthrough cases, but the numbers are still under 7% of hospitalized patients are fully vaccinated.
Yeah.
Now, one thing to remember is that New Jersey has 96% of adults have at least one dose in them, and almost 85% of the total population of New Jersey has at least one dose in them. So the governor is encouraging people to get their vaccinations and to get their booster shots.
No.
So the highest number of cases in New Jersey right now are in children between the ages of 5 and 18. And this is reported by ABC News. And these are the highest level of cases since the pandemic started. And they're seeing an increase in children, blah, blah, blah. So the case rate among children between 5 and 9 has doubled, and it's tripled among children aged 10 and 14, 10 to 14. So this is a significant amount of kids now, the large unvaccinated population. They are encouraging people because they say that the vaccine is good for kids as young as 10 now. So they're encouraging everybody, get your children vaccinated. And in New Jersey, all the schools are still, they're forced to wear masks. But again, we're talking kids. So, in the hallways, they're pulling them down and that sort of thing.
Well, the other thing is, as you pointed out, this is cold season. Mm-hmm. So,
man, it's food holiday and it's...
Well, you figure that this surge started at Halloween for the children, and has continued through Thanksgiving, of course, because
they have
everybody
reduced the flow rate in their heating, ventilating, and air conditioning systems because they closed windows and doors against the cold.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time,
again, we know from looking at families, right, that with or without the mask, if you live with someone who has it, it is very likely you're going to get it, simply because there's so much around, right, that it gets through.
Yeah.
So, yes, the mask will help, but it needs social distancing and lots of airflow and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have somebody in your home who is infected, isolate them.
The ass probably needs to go camping in the yard.
All right.
Sorry, it's about to be winter.
Or in their bedroom with the door closed and the windows open.
So let's talk about Daytona Beach University.
No.
I've never heard of Daytona Beach University.
Daytona Beach.
That sounds scammy as shit.
Daytona.
I lived in Daytona, so I have nothing but swears to say about it.
Cool.
Okay.
Daytona Beach University students may have stopped a mass shooting.
Well done.
So 2 students reported concerning messages by John Haggins, who was 19, on Snapchat. The concern was about a, quote, plot to shoot up, unquote, the school.
Okay.
Haggins...
I think that's a fairly obvious hint that you might want to take
was
some action.
arrested and found to have sold, possibly found to have sold his truck to buy a collapsible rifle, magazines, and ammunition, all of which the officers found in his backpack. Allegedly, he said in the Snapchat he was going to the shooting range and planned to go to the school after, since it would be busy before the Christmas break. He might try to claim it was a joke, but Daytona Beach Police Chief said if he was looking for attention, he has it. He is currently being held no bail.
Fair.
This all sounds like preparation to call it an end. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, the fact that he sold his truck and then bought this gun and it was in his backpack.
Yeah.
So he said he was going to go practice at the range and then go to school.
No, and our entertainment is Ready Player One, and nearly every shooter that matters has talked about high scores. Yeah.
So, now, let's move on to Kanye West. Oh, this guy is in so much trouble. Oh, this is funny. And I'm sorry, I love Kanye. I love Kanye West
90s
music.
Kanye.
Yeah, old Kanye.
Power fucking.
His music was good, but he as a person is a terrible person.
Everything before
and
Jarhead.
He's just bad. So anyway, I'm sorry, Kanye West. I will never pay money for anything that you are involved in. But anyway,
not buying NFTs.
I don't care how good it is. Don't fucking
Fuck
care.
the metaverse.
Yeah.
That's why I have YouTube. Okay, so anyway. Weeks after the 2020 election, and this is from, I want to say ABC News? That's the Peacock, right?
I want to point out
NBC News.
that
NBC
there's no
News,
evidence yet that Kanye West was involved in this.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Not that Kanye West was, but...
Yeah.
it was his fucking
adjacent-
publicist tried to tell me it wasn't Kanye.
Agents represent
I'm telling
all
you,
kinds
there's
of
no-
humans.
Kanye West is a Trumper.
Ooh,
Tell me
yeah.
again it wasn't Kanye West.
I'm
telling you, there's no evidence
Yeah.
it was Kanye
Okay,
West.
so allegedly it wasn't Kanye West, but in my opinion it aggressively was, and y'all can suck my balls.
I'm saying the agent for Kanye West or publicist or whatever, like bleach drinking nitwit.
Okay, let's explain to them what we're talking about. So, in this NBC News story, written by Reuters, it just says? Anyway.
Yeah, Reuters.
Reuters?
News aggregate, yeah.
Oh, that, okay. Anyway, weeks after the 2020 election, a Chicago publicist for hip-hop artist Kanye West traveled to the suburban home of Ruby Freeman. Now, for those of you who don't know, Ruben Freeman is a volunteer who helped count votes, okay, for the election. Trump and all of Trump's little cronies have been harassing this poor woman. She's been getting death threats and all kinds of stuff for a while at this point. And then shortly after, this person shows up at her door and said she was sent by a high-profile individual, would not give the name of said individual.
That's what I'd say if I was walking up on somebody.
But we know that she is Kanye West's...
Doesn't matter.
she's Kanye West's publicist.
Yes.
So...
Publicist to the great and the good.
She said she urged Freeman to confess to Trump's voter fraud allegations, or people would come to her home in 48 hours and she'd go to jail.
None of this story made sense.
Freeman said "fuck you" and called the cops.
Right.
And so that's how we know about all this. This is how this all came up.
Like, there's some video. Like, fuck your receipts, we've got video.
Yep.
But yeah, so this poor woman has been being harassed by people, her and her daughter, who have both,
We're volunteers in the election
the
process.
democratic process, okay, which is important for everybody. We all agree on this. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat or, somewhere in between. But, and this person shows up at her door and threatens to send her to jail. This person happens to work for Kanye West.
Just happens to.
Whether Kanye West is involved or not, I guarantee you that, in my opinion, he aggressively was. But again, that's just my opinion, and my opinion is worthless. So we'll just go with that. But the point is that this is some bullshit and some monster
taking serious
fucking crap.
High levels of entertainment in America.
Kanye, back to fuck off, people. That's all I'm saying. Tell your publicist that she needs to not be doing this type of shit. It's not okay.
Because none of the rest of the story made any sense.
No, it's all...
You're a loose end. The party man at the time, so confess to that criminal shit we did the other day. Like, no. Literally no one involved in your conspiracy would be like, confirm our conspiracy before...
You're just crazy.
What are you doing?
Well, again, it's the big lie.
And it really is.
It would be funny if it were not damaging
No,
America.
we're going to do a deep dive on why we can't call them gullibilities, except we have to because...
Okay, so the quote that Freeman says, they're saying that I need help, that it's just a matter of time, that they are going to come out for me and my family. That's what these people are telling her. So Kanye West's publicist was calling herself a crisis manager, according to the police incident report.
That's
Right.
what everyone who isn't smart enough to know they want to be a risk management agent says.
This would look like it might have been an attempt to intimidate.
Oh, this is aggressively an attempt to intimidate.
Wow.
And whoever was in charge of it, whoever was responsible for it, I'm sorry, but if I was Kanye West, I would be firing that publicist and saying, I have nothing to do with them. I don't know this person. I don't know why she did this. This is not okay.
Yep.
But the fact that I don't even think he did any of those things.
No, that's what makes this person have any relevance at all. At the same time...
Oh, and you're right. There is video footage from a body cameo worn by an officer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they had a meeting in a police parking lot.
Yeah.
So this person said to this woman, I cannot say what specifically will take place. I just know that it will disrupt your freedom and the freedom of one or more of your family members. You are a loose end for a party that needs to tidy up, and said that federal people were involved.
Tell me that's not some mafioso shit.
It
Tell
is.
me
That's
not some threats from the Bratva. Tell me that's not some word from on high on the tongue. Tell me that's not...
I hope the investigation is still ongoing.
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah.
No, we just sent a January 6th to jail for 5 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's...
That's about right.
Did you strike law enforcement officers on federal property?
Yeah, you're
right there in
spend
front
some
of
time
God,
in
the
prison.
world, and the system.
And to every video camera within a 3-mile radius.
Then enjoy your ride, bro.
And that's a lot because there was a lot of people there, all with their cameras.
I think we should probably talk about the algorithm in the same way we talk about what's that time when we dropped down to 1,000 humans? One of those like great filter moments. Like the algorithm is the problem.
Yes.
Because anyway, we'll talk more about that some
We
other
will.
time.
We're coming back to that one.
Okay, so
Yes.
back
Questions?
to my new
And-
segment, which I have now
questions?
renamed again.
Da, da, da.
Wait a minute.
Fireside
Hold
chat.
on. No.
What?
You
What?
ruined
Oh,
my intro. What the
You can do it again because
Yeah.
we haven't finished the news.
Ninja Dust.
Yeah, we did. What did we miss?
Have we talked about camels yet?
Oh, shit. That's because
which
it's under
one?
here. All right, talk about the fucking camera.
Okay, so every year in
Sorry,
Saudi
I
Arabia,
missed that.
Yeah,
You're
really.
right.
It's camel
right,
sex.
camel breeders are invited to compete at the festival, right, for the most beautiful camel, and there's 66 million in prize money. So
I'd be more sympathetic if I didn't have like a Dober Beastie weeping babies, like some sort of
yeah.
Cloverfield monster.
Anyway, so this year, more than 40 camels were disqualified for using Botox. But Botox
What?
is by...
No, shut up. No, I wasn't prepared.
It
for
gives
that.
them a nice, smooth brow.
No, look, I had to write 90% of the bullshit I do on my daily on I did it with a smooth forehead, so it's okay. And you're telling me the same thing with camels? Yes.
I need to know. Why is Botox considered a performance-enhancing drug in camels? You must
Why?
answer
Because
this
it's
question.
a beauty contest.
Oh.
No.
Oh, okay. I was thinking racing. Camel
No.
racing.
Nah.
Okay.
No.
It's a beauty contest.
And for all I know, they have
So it
races
got
too. I
a
don't know
lot
how the
weirder for
66
you.
million in prize
No,
money.
that makes more sense.
Right. But
Yeah.
anyway, so Botox is by
hold
no
on.
means the
How
only
much
thing
did you
that's been
say?
done.
How much is prize money?
66 million.
Oh, yeah, there's really no line I wouldn't cross.
Yeah, I know. So anyway,
We
there are
need to
lots
get
of
into
other.
camels.
Oh, my God.
Apparently. We live in the desert. We could
What?
totally do camels.
Like, comment, subscribe.
$6 million? Come on, tell me you're not willing to get into some camels for
Buy us
$66
an
million.
airship named Yacht with some mortars.
Yeah,
And
so
we'll be the
anyway.
winner.
The Botox injections is by no means the only thing.
Yeah,
They use fillers to relax their little faces. They use hormones to exaggerate their muscles. They use implants to spread some of the features
Just
and
gonna-
cosmetic surgery, right?
Gonna kill my
I just,
Wow.
This is why, Internet, I say if I had to wish I'd be dead, and so would you.
Obviously.
What the
We
fuck?
hadn't talked about camels before.
Oh my god.
I just love that.
No, I'm not broken in a new way.
Okay.
Damn.
That's all right. You want to know what's really bad? You know what I just discovered in my coffee cup?
I thought it was baby teeth based on the sound. What do you bet?
What I discovered in the coffee cup was onions from the onion soup that was there earlier.
I guess that is your cup.
That is my cup. So, anyway.
Yeah, it's
We've had some
fucking
disputes
Camel
over
implants. No, shut up. I live in a world where there's a catalog for fucking Camel implants. If I knew nothing else about you, capitalism, that would be enough.
All right, so back to my new segment.
What are we going to call it now?
Fireside Chat with Risen.
All right.
Actually, I do like that.
Well, watch out where you drop your cigarettes.
Dude, we're going to have to fire later. It's fine.
Yeah.
I put it up on the cinder block, so it's going to get a lot of air.
So, I stumbled across a question that made me ask another question, or three.
Okay.
It was marital rape, and should it be criminalized? And I was like, wait, what? Isn't that already criminalized? It's rape. I don't care if you're married to each other or other fucking people. Which then led me to question if this actually, like, this list of questions came from another country. Or is this an actual issue here in America, which is terrifying.
Fuck you hope.
Honestly, I looked through the rest of the questions, and they are definitely aggressively written in India. So good job, India, for actually deciding you need to talk about if marital rape should be considered a crime.
I don't believe it is a crime in India.
No, but that's my point. The fact that they are deciding, I'm giving them a thumbs up for deciding that maybe they need to talk about that.
I would guess that 40% of the countries on the earth, it's not a crime.
Oh, yeah, no,
God, just fucking horrifying.
I do not want to discuss the jurisdictions in the United States. That's not a crime. I know the numbers.
I don't know if there are any left.
I know the numbers of jurisdictions in the
Where
United
they
States
prosecute it.
where it's not rape if you don't say the word no.
Oh, yeah. No, I had an issue with that in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Fuck you, New Hampshire.
So, yeah,
You can get drugged and not say no, and the cops don't give a shit in New Hampshire, just so you know, ladies.
Good luck, India. I wish you all the help. By the way, we should totally sign up with China.
No, but my point was,
China wants to call
well played that you guys actually think that this is a good discussion question. I mean, you're moving forward. I think that's appropriate, I guess.
Although, spoiler warning, yes,
so India,
absolutely a problem.
India, here's my answer. Yes, it should be criminalized because fuck you guys. Seriously. No, it's bad. It's very bad. Okay, so let's move on. Now, here's a fun question. Is it more important to be creative or knowledgeable?
Einstein. This is where the question comes from. Anyway. Creative or knowledgeable? You gotta be one to be the other, and I'm not sure which happens first. Knowledgeable gives breadth to creativity.
Yes, there you go. That's an accurate statement. That you need the background.
Yeah.
Right.
But does being knowledgeable necessarily make you creative?
No.
I don't think so.
Absolutely.
No.
Yeah.
I know too many cooks who can read a recipe and do no more than that recipe.
Yep.
Fair.
They can't make a family meal. They can't make a good thing for when you're sick. Just something memorable. Like
chicken soup the right way.
The thought of how it's going to taste and like, not in the presentation or any of the other garbage.
No, it's what am I trying to achieve in taste?
It's like comedy, right? Laughter is an irrepressible physical response to external stimuli, and in food, you're looking for the same.
Yeah.
So, same thing with anything else, where the difference is knowledge versus creativity. If I know how the colors work together. I can get better interactions. I can feather better. I can technique better, but only because of the knowledge beforehand.
Right.
Right. That if you know why a rule exists, you know when we subvert it.
Yeah, I think creativity without knowledge is likely to be frustrating.
Again, the nitwit 14-year-old answer of like, well, the military wants mindless killing machines. Oh no,
they
want
really don't.
Thoughtful killing machines.
That's right.
And that's a whole other thing we should maybe talk about. But
yep.
No,
they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So
rhyme and reason.
And that was kind of my opinion on it, was that I don't feel like you want to be creative without being knowledgeable or knowledgeable without being creative. I think you need an even mix of the two to be able to, do anything with your knowledge. Because
I like the idea of framing as rhyme and reason.
No, this is the one time I'm going to stop you both. The point is that you can't, like we were discussing before, if you're knowledgeable but not creative, that knowledge is pretty much useless, right? Yeah. And if you're creative without being knowledgeable, again, that creativity is pretty much useless if you don't know how to implement it. Yeah. So you really
That's how you end up trying to make asparagus pancakes.
You really need a healthy mix of both. All right, so ask your question to him again because I spoke over you.
My question? I was simply saying I like the idea of framing it more as rhyme and reason.
Yeah.
Because those are more accurately intertwined than knowledge and creativity.
So, because it's important to me to be considered creative.
Yeah. Which is actually hilarious, because you are genuinely one of the more creative humans I know.
Actually, it turns out I'm not particularly creative. I'm actually really insanely good at the next step.
Fair.
When you have an idea, I can bring an enormous range of knowledge to the discussion of that idea. Mm-hmm. And it becomes part of the creative process.
Yeah.
Right. And I will call that creativity. But no, I'm frequently, I love to be surrounded by people who
think outside the box.
Well, we were trying to fix a battery box. Mm-hmm. And I had a way to do it that I knew would work, and I had set off to do it. And somebody looked over my shoulder and said, "Why don't you do thus and so?" Asshole. And it worked perfectly, and it was about one third the work.
There you go.
So anyway, I'm good at if you're having a discussion about how to do something or how to do something interesting, I am really, really good at figuring out, especially how to do it with how to test it with available resources, right?
Yep.
How can I cobble together something to answer the question about whether this will work or not, or has any value or not?
21-point character, vampire character. Yep.
Yeah. But again, there are people who are more creative than I, who are more likely to come up with an original idea, right, than I am.
I am less believing of the original idea versus iterate.
Oh yeah, no. You need the seed.
Yeah,
and what's really valuable is when that seed is, to use an idiotically overused term, out of the box, that it actually is new, right? That it has some new feature where you go, wait a minute, that's
how could we implement
that's this? Really a cute idea. Will it work? So. Mm-hmm. And if so, how do I make it work? And how do I demonstrate it?
And then if it wouldn't work the way you're saying, how can we adjust it so maybe it will
Absolutely.
work?
I want to look into the kids that figure out you can print ceramic body armor using on-the-shelf 3D printers.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, but that just zeroed out a huge chunk of...
do they have to be fired?
I don't know. Okay. I literally only heard of the concept 2 hours ago.
Google it.
Yeah.
Because there are people doing 3D printing of ceramics, but I think typically they have to be fired after the fact.
Yeah,
which is not a showstopper.
Most of the time, you can fire stuff by just putting it in your
No, but
oven for X
that's
many
been the inverse. Like we've talked previously about peace dividends.
Yeah.
The other side of that
Is the war dividends.
The war dividend was the Industrial Revolution for terrorism. That 3D printers just made a lot of tech we wish wasn't available. Available if you kind of know what you're doing.
Yeah. And
don't do war crimes.
No, and to carry that idea one step further, if you were making a specific weapon for an army, right, you're going to stay away from 3D printing. You may prototype it that way.
Yep.
Right, because it's quick.
Watch this.
But in the long term, you're going to want to do it in a different way. But if you're trying to equip 7 guys on a death squad,
rakes ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
ISIS uses a 119 millimeter mortar. And your whole ass brain just went, that's a weird size.
No, it's not.
I know. But now you're trying to figure out what it's the size of. Paint can. They built a mortar system that can be created in any industrialized city. And paint cans are a standardized size.
119 millimeters is big for a paint can.
Yeah. I'd have to look and see which industrial can it actually
Okay, fine.
But
yeah,
it's every city has them. It may be the chlorine things for large water treatment or...
no idea. Okay, fine. I got it.
Yeah. No, that's the industrial revolution they're talking about is the...
Yeah.
Right. We just made everything... We bombed a Iraqi milk factory because it was dual-use technology.
And was busily dual-use?
I was trying to get to dual use. I wasn't commenting on the bombing.
Yeah.
And ISIS figured out a way to dual use technology.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Right? A soda can is about 90 millimeters. So what do you want to do?
Yep.
So we've hit just over an hour. I still have a bunch of questions. Do we want to save them?
Yeah. I'll save them.
Okay.
We can do them another tomorrow night.
Ask them in fast order.
Anyway.
No, you said 119 millimeters, and
it was a weird ass size.
Mine was 120.
Yeah.
Right? So
it was a non-NATO size, and it was a non-Warsaw
Well, and I was trying to figure out if they were doing something that could use my ammunition, but I couldn't use theirs.
The big thing was the contrast between the 80 millimeter mortar that most people who have embedded with Western forces have seen.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, we had an exciting discussion tonight.
Yeah.
Asshole was on point all night. And I think we're going to call it...
Actually, he's on his ass all night.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Rare form, shall we call it? All right. So we've had a great night. It's been awesome.
Don't
we're back.
forget about camels using Botox.
And
oh my god. Fucking camel implants.
Yeah.
We love you all. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night on Boomer Rex Tonight.
I really would respect the bosses more if they just said, I want more money.